Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SFXX podcast presents Jump In, Play More with your sexy fucking host, me. So for today's topic, oh, I guess Steve is here too.
I'm Foxxy Steve.
Foxxy Steve. He's not sexy, he's foxy.
That's
Like Foxy Cleopatra. So damn, Shaft. Get that dick out of there. I'm sorry.
it's late.
I'm not sorry.
He's not sorry.
I'm not sorry at all. And in today's show, we're going to be talking about the original Xbox launch lineup because Xbox has not given us news again.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Nothing besides, Xbox killing it in Japan lately, which is amazing. But that's yeah.
So while the launch lineup is very rough, we did get a chance to at least play some, and we're going to talk about these games to some extent, give you like a little, blurb, I guess, about them, and let you know how that impacted, where we're at now, because where we're at now is the fourth generation for the Xbox, and it's very interesting to look at the past, as we've done previously on our last couple podcasts, I believe. So, by all means, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe.
That's the sound when you click the subscribe button.
I guess. I have no headphones.
It's a very large.
Ignore those in the back.
It's,
And I have no speakers. And if you can see them, ignore them in the back as well. I am literally deaf.
I must be snapping my fingers from one of his ears for the audio listeners here. See if he can react.
What? I saw you moving.
He responds to motion, people. If you don't move, he can't see you.
I can't harm you. And also, Steve, where can they listen to us and do things for us?
As always, you can go to all of the podcast services around the globe, such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast, to find our beautiful, sultry voices. You can go ahead and find it via SFXX Play, or just jump in and play more for your official Xbox content of SFXX Play. Ooh-wee. Please give us a 5-star rating, because I had to put gas in my car. It requires human blood. Anyway, it doesn't.
I usually am just sick of selling so many feet pics because, by God, how many more feet am I going to have to chop off to alliterate the fact that these are not my feet? So please stop buying them. And they just won't.
See that? It's matched up on people's feet because you haven't given us a high enough rating yet. So if you got this on YouTube, just stop that video, go to the Spotify, play that at the same time, rate it there, go back to the YouTube channel, finish watching that video, then like it, comment on it, subscribe, and share it.
I gotta put someone's kids through college.
And it's
Not
not
mine.
not his. It doesn't have any. No.
I'm just mutually obligated to fund children from Lithuania into a Canadian college.
Shit's fucked, people.
And I have to translate the money. I have to transfer my American bucks to Lithuanian bucks to then be transferred to Canadian bucks for a Canadian college for Greco-Roman wrestling.
That's unfortunate.
It is a terrible cycle. So if you don't rate us high on your podcast services, you won't be able to send a gerbil to college. And you don't want that on your conscience.
You don't.
You don't. So let's jump into it and give you a good enough reason to. So we're going to be talking about some Xbox games.
And mind you, this is OG Xbox. This is Gen 1 Xbox.
A lot of the lineups from the North American release, which was November 15th, 01, to the Japanese release, which was February 22nd, 02, to the European release date of March 14th, 2002, have some notable similarities and a lot of vague differences. Like, how do I describe this? So recently we watched Triple Jump, right? Triple Jump is another YouTube channel that we're not in conjunction with, so don't give them a subscription. Only subscribe to us.
Yeah, really don't.
Mean-spirited, I don't go down. But they did a playing every Xbox launch title video. And now in hindsight, that only helped us partially, because I remember one of the launch titles they talked about was Jet Set Radio Future. And I was like, that's incredible. What a good game. That is not a North American launch game.
Oh.
Oh yeah, the North American launch, we got some doo-doo. We got some stinkers.
Oh.
So let me start with the banger right out the gate. 4x4 Evo 2.
You know, I'm trying to remember this game.
You shouldn't.
Well.
You know what 4x4 Evo 2 is, Steve? Do you know?
I'm going to go on a limb and say it is a sequel to 4x4 Evo.
Let me tell you about 4x4 Evo 2.
Oh, I remember that box art.
This game has a rating on IGN of 5.3 out of 10.
Ooh.
From Universal Interactive.
Never. Oh,
and all I'm saying is, ugh. Uh-oh. This game hideous. This is a hideous game.
Those graphics are rough, even by today's standards.
Every Jeep is very square. Now, that's not saying anything towards Jeeps, because
they are square.
They are square. But this game puts the square all over your face. It's bad. Don't play it. It's just a racing game. It's not even a good one. Moving on.
Good one. The good ones existed, so.
Air Force Delta Storm.
What is that?
Do you see how this didn't show up either when we were watching that video?
You gotta understand, for people, like, I didn't get my Xbox like day one, right? My Xbox I got in like 2003, okay, with like Raw 2 came out. So a lot of these launch titles are a little bit.
Air Force Delta Storm is a Konami air game.
Air combat.
Not ace combat, but aerial combat. And yeah, it's about as generic can get.
What's the Metacritic on that sucker?
Metacritic is 61%. Then we have Arctic Thunder. Now I know what Arctic Thunder is. Arctic Thunder is a racing game from Midway.
Oh, is it
with
like
snowmobiles?
Okay, because I'm thinking my brain goes to Hydro Thunder, which is not the same thing as what I'm looking at here.
It is. There's Hydro Thunder and then there's Arctic Thunder. All the same company, all the same kind of idea, principalities. So Hydro Thunder was boats, crazy stuff.
Hose.
Yeah, this is the same idea as Hydro Thunder, but on
ice. Oh, I had a little arcade thing too.
Yeah, it was the same thing, but on snowmobiles.
That I've never heard of Arctic Thunder, whereas I've definitely heard of Hydro Thunder.
It's funny, the arcade machine for it had like a wind thing. So when you're like on it and moving, it would shoot like a fan at you.
Oh, wow.
Cold air to simulate the gnarly, chilling breeze of Arctic Thunder.
That's immersive.
Yes. I think the game is very okay. Much like Hydro Thunder. I think Hydro Thunder was interesting because it's that arcade era. Same idea here. They just ported an arcade game to home console. It's on PS2, Xbox, and I don't think it's on GameCube. I may be wrong. Yeah, it's not on GameCube.
What's the Metacritic for that sucker?
The Metacritic, you know.
If you can even find it.
Love it. Man, let me just open up a Metacritic tab, and because IGN gave it a 6 out of 10.
So perfect.
I spelled Metacritic with an O.
Metacritic?
Metacritic is what I put. So you know I'm just top notch.
Metacritic sounds like some kind of strange religion for it. We live in a Metacritic government.
A 57.
Damn. So
and that's the Xbox version.
See, these are why
the PS2 version is worse.
Wow. Yeah, because it would have ran worse on PS2 probably.
Of course, it's a PS2. It's a piece of shit.
Wow. We love PS2 here.
I love the Xbox.
Yeah.
So next is Cell Damage.
I think I've heard of Cell Damage.
So cell damage is what happens when you take Vigilante 8 and mix it with cartoon.
Yes, I have heard of Cell Damage. Yeah.
Now I won't mix it with Twisted Metal because that game is much better, much edgier. Vigilante 8 is good, but it's kind of like zany and wacky. Cell Damage is every bit of that.
I'm pretty sure it was terrible too, right? Just cell shaded.
I think it's actually kind of solid. I don't think Cell Damage is by any part like bad. It got an HD re-release.
Really?
Yeah. On like PS4, from what I remember. So the HD version got a very bad Metacritic from what I just looked at. Metacritic hates me right now and won't even load on my cellular device.
Yeah, that's probably because it's pissed because you looked up Cell Damage.
Cell Damage.
All I can tell you, folks, that I saw a lot of yellows.
Grab me my laptop. Let's just do this the normal way.
Oh man, we're getting laptop style, people.
Because
prepare yourselves.
Cell Damage won't load on my phone. Metacritic it just hates it. Now here's the thing. I hope this has a charge.
Oh no.
I'm pretty sure it does. But from what I remember seeing, Cell Damage was 65 or 66. 65 or 67. One of the two numbers.
That felt about right. I remember when it came out, and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting," because it was, cell shaded was always really eye catching at the time.
I need to adjust this microphone because I can feel my neck touch it.
Uh-oh.
And I don't want that.
No, you don't want your neck.
You don't want that.
You don't want your neck meat all up in there. Just in case mine is doing something weird. I'll take it and I'll put it on yeah. Put it on my nipple.
I pinned it really close to my chest so you all can experience the love that I have for each of these games.
I'm gonna put mine on my tits so that way you can hear me lactate when we come up to the games that I like a lot.
But apparently Cell Damage was well received by fans for sure. Critics probably not as much. It's a solid swimming in sevens kind of game from what I remember playing.
Yeah. It was a third person action, right? Not
what's a vehicular combat?
Vehicular combat. Okay. Did Automata come out at the same time? No, that wasn't a launch title.
No, that was not a launch title. That
was a PS2 game.
That was a much further launch game. But further launch? No, it was just.
That's an older game.
Oh, whatever. Let me just.
I'm just thinking it's just cell shaded, and my brain just goes to cell shaded.
So I recently played that too.
Automata?
Mm-hmm. Like actually gave it some time because I remember you were telling me, oh, it's kind of meh. And I was like, nah, it always looks cool. Maybe I remember being hard was the like definition, but I was like, let me just try for myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't like? Oh, is it ass? Is it ass?
My silence speaks volumes.
Yeah, that game wasn't great, Chris.
My silence speaks several metrical.
It got a lot of kudos for being cell shaded, so it had a pretty cool looking art style, and it was online at the time. And I think it was the first online racing game, at least on PlayStation 2. So that's kind of like why it kind of got a little more regard. But the gameplay just was not it, Chief. It was not it. It's very unfortunate.
Why am I not? I feel like our internet is acting funny because I can't load anything. Jesus. No internet?
Well,
this is all that other human's fault. There we go.
I don't say, well, internet's out.
So
life is canceled.
So okay. So the next title is Dark Summit. Dark Summit was a THQ released.
You alright?
It's such a dumb game. It's a THQ released snowboarding action game. But it's like, oh god.
You say Dark Summit rings a bell, but I could be thinking of any other combination of the word dark and summit, like Dark Cloud or Dark Void or.
This game just sucks, man. I don't know. I feel like I feel like Dark Summit is not something that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I loved that game.
A snowboarding action game.
It's a game.
Oh, I see that. Oh yeah, that's
Metacritic review score of 71. It is
Yikes.
It's just weird. Like, it's not like it's supposed to be bad.
It's the era of weird THQ published game.
I don't think it by any means necessary Dark Summit is like supposedly like the worst thing you could play.
No, clearly there's a lot of worse games.
But it sure is as mediocre can get. And most
oh my god.
It's like the reason this game suffers is because SSX hasn't come out yet. And when you don't have something to base the groundwork of like good off of, you just kind of swim in shit.
This looks really muddy. Like, it looks rough.
It is rough.
Oh my god. And the thing is, there were already better games than this, like snowboarding. SSX hadn't come out yet, but there were still games that did this better, I think.
There was a better game on 64 called 1080. And 1080 is not perfect. Like, don't get me wrong. I think 1080 is one of those games people have very fond memories of, but it's not great. There was another one on N64 called Twisted Edge. And people give that game some like bad credit, but I think Twisted Edge was a very good snowboarding game from what I remember. I don't know because I haven't played it in years, but I can tell you that it's way better than that piece of shit ass Dark Summit game, and that's a launch title. So that's the way I have to look at it, is that a lot of those games are a lot of these launch games are just going to be bad because they're launch games. Now here's a good one. Finally got a good game. Dead or Alive 3.
Yes, Dead or Alive 3 is a great game.
Okay, so finally something positive to talk on. Dead or Alive 3. Average Metacritic score of 87.
Yeah, very, very strong reviews. I remember when it came out. Was happy that it came out. Because God, Dead or Alive was always kind of wowed me, especially on like Dreamcast, I believe, the first time I played it. And yeah, Dead or Alive is dope. Graphically, it was like the best looking thing. Like, it really showed off what the Xbox could do.
Yeah. Dead or Alive 3 had a lot going to it between the surroundings, the character models, the transitions, the visual effects. It was something extremely good to look at, especially at launch.
And I think I may have saw that like in arcades first.
Dead or Alive 3?
Like something about Dead or Alive, and like
I've never seen Dead or Alive 3 in arcade. The only ones I've seen in arcade are 1 and 2.
1 and 2. I don't know. There was something about it where when I saw it on Xbox and saw the graphics was putting out, I was like, "This is on a home game system." Like, holy shit! Not to mention the boobies. I mean, hey, they're there. Itagaki-sama really loves his cans, but you know,
he really loves tits.
Sir, that's not what Dead or Alive is about.
It's about wet tits. Boy, I'm a polished politician.
Anyway.
But Dead or Alive 3 is one of those standout games that you can get. Fusion Frenzy, the ever popular party game for the original Xbox. Now, Steve, I know that you are not the biggest fan of Fusion Frenzy.
No, I am not. I think that game is... But, granted, I don't like party games much in general. I don't like Mario Party. I don't like any Mario Party. People just like it when they see me suffer in Mario Party. So I just do it to appease my terrible friends. But, yeah, look at that score.
Seems fine.
7 isn't fine, because that's the overall score. I bet there's much worse.
Meta score is 70. User score is 7.
Yeah, but the individual reviews, I bet there's some bad reviews.
14 positive, 5 mixed, 5 negative.
Well, they're crazy, because fuck them.
Critic reviews. 13 positive, 13 mixed, 2 negative.
They're high.
Fusion Frenzy is a solid game. It's just that it's also painfully bleh. And I can't. Okay, so this is coming from a person who does like party games. He likes the minigame collection stuff and the games where you and your friends go toe to toe and just a cavalcade of games, right? So you're sitting there with your buddies, you and 3 other friends, all controllered up. You got your Pizza Hut pizzas ready, personal pans for everybody. You got your Pepsi. You know, everybody's happy. It's a fun night.
I didn't have friends.
Hey guys, shut up, loser. Hey guys, let's play Fusion Frenzy. And then when we're done, let's play Mario Party. But this one's new, so let's play it first. Yeah! All your friends have the same weird voice. So you pop in Fusion Frenzy, you're all playing on your brand spanking new Xbox, and you're all got these gigantic Duke controllers, and you're all like, fuck, I am 10 years old.
I can't
hold this. Ew. It's so big and stupid. And you're all playing it, and you're having fun because the minigames feel more mature than Mario Party.
Yeah, so, it's edgier. Grittier.
So it's an edgier game. Now here's the problem. Almost all of the 30-ish minigames they have feel so samey. There's always there's 4 racing games. They all have the same feel. There's 4 tank games or so. There's 4 kart games with balloons. There's Tron Cycle. They all feel really samey. And it becomes a dull chore because you're not tasked with something outside of the minigames like Sonic Shuffle, like Mario Party. It is just minigames. And it is a bore because of it. I think Fusion Frenzy isn't bad, but I think it's always missed something other than just the fucking minigames. And it shows. You'll play it and you'll be like, I am bored to tears. It's so dull. But it's something that they could have worked on further. And they didn't. They made Fusion Frenzy 2, which is worse. And I don't even know how it's worse. I played it one time. I was like, it's like Fusion Frenzy 1 to me.
That's probably why it's worse.
Exactly. So, moving on.
Yeah, you're going to make a second game. You need to,
I don't know, improve.
Yes.
Moving on. A small indie title that they got the chance to publish called Halo Combat Evolved.
Never heard of it.
Very tiny game.
Any good?
It's absolutely dreadful.
I figured.
Worst game, Metacritic score, 4. 4. 1 rating. This game is green.
This game is green. Oh, this goddamn grass.
Oh, this goddamn grass. The fuck's a flood?
Okay, the flood sections I'm not a fan of.
Most people I know aren't really big fans of the flood.
But goddamn, look at that metal score.
Yet, Halo Combat Evolved has the meta score of 97.
97. I'm not sure. This may have been the game that coined killer app. This was the killer app.
It was.
You needed to have it.
It was. Metacritic even has a stamp on it that says must play. It is literally the defining reason to own an Xbox. I remember the first time I saw Halo. I was in shock by its glory. Okay, that's a bit of Halo humor, and I don't think you realize it. I'm gonna look it up while I explain this. But I loved Halo, and I was just like, wow, this is a first-person shooter, and my touchstone was N64, and you just got to see Perfect Dark. Mm-hmm. So it was GoldenEye, Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
World Is Not Enough.
These corridor kind of things.
And Halo was
a whole different thing. It's interesting because my first time playing it wasn't even at launch, because I didn't have the Xbox at launch. I had the Xbox later, and when I bought the Xbox, I didn't even get Halo with it. I got Raw 2 and Tetris or whatever.
Yeah, it sounds like a Steve purchase, all right.
I was like, whatever the wrestling game is on. Oh, Raw 2 was way better than Raw 1? Okay, I'm getting the next box. Because I was a PlayStation guy for a while there. I didn't... the
man didn't even get the Xbox games. He said, I'm going to get Raw.
Nope, PS2 was my touchstone. I didn't know shit about Halo. Wasn't in my realm. I had a friend who was crazy about Halo in high school. So he was talking to me about Halo a lot, which got me onto Halo. And so then by the time I got here, I bought Halo and played it co-op with my cousin, and that's when I realized, holy shit, this game is amazing. And then playing, I don't think I played Halo 1 online. I played Halo 2 online. But yeah, like, I can understand after playing it and seeing it versus what had come out before it, how it's been revolution. It's insane. It's like seeing an open world game for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like playing Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time and seeing a game that can be that expansive. How a shooter can just go that many different ways.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 3 was one of the reasons I wanted a PS2.
I was very happy to
And
have
I didn't have and I didn't have one. And I didn't get one. But I got the Grand Theft Auto double pack on Xbox, and it was better.
It is better.
Because fingers went from this to this. They spread open.
Oh, the meat mittens went away.
The meat mittens went away on Xbox. It ran better. You could use custom soundtracks. It loaded quicker. It was the definitive version of Grand Theft Auto.
Which I never got a chance to play or see.
Same goes for San Andreas. And by God, if I had a chance, I'd get those games on original Xbox to this day.
That's probably the best way to play it. Outside of maybe the mobile version?
I think the PC version you can mod now. Somebody put out a definitive mod. I haven't downloaded and tried it yet. I actually want to do that today. But yeah, like if you're not modding, you're not doing anything crazy. I think the definitive way to play San Andreas is, you're gonna laugh at this, is either original Xbox or I think black box PS2.
That's random. My black box PS2.
Hot coffee. And
the original, because the original game,
and then some things, well, not even just hot coffee, like some things got removed for the hot coffee fix, like some songs on radio stations were removed and switched out and whatnot too as well.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Exactly. I wouldn't have known it either until I started looking at certain like definitive things. And the same kind of goes for the double pack. Like, I think they came out with the triple pack for Grand Theft Auto, and I don't remember if they did some tweaking with those games on original Xbox, but I remember the one they put for the double pack is like the ones that are like just like the PS2 versions, just better. So, but yeah. Oh, and I found the Halo line. When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty?
No, because a video game.
It was a line that was said to Master Chief, or the Arbiter. I'm sorry, by the Prophet of the Red.
Y'all are stupid. No, I'm just kidding. So,
next on our lovely list of fantastic games.
Oh, we're going from Halo to something else.
I know. What could top Halo? I can tell you what can. Mad Dash Racing.
Thank God Halo worked out, because if it didn't, the Xbox would not be.
No, man. Crystal Dynamics carried this system, because Mad Dash Racing is the definitive racing experience for all consoles.
That's the one where they're running on their legs. Yeah.
Yep.
Nope.
Mm-mm. It does feature the voice of Billy West.
I mean, that's fun. Billy West is crazy, by the way.
Yep.
That man has been been he has done it all. He has seen it all. He has did it all. I mean,
I did not know he was Buzz for Honey Nut Cheerios.
That man has done.
And he's the current voice of the Red M&M.
He is, and he's done Coke.
Billy West.
Billy West is crazy, y'all.
But Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Interactive made a shitty racing game called Mad Dash Racing, where you don't dash in carts. You dash on your feet as weird faux cartoon characters in a very time period-esque comedy act, where it's a lot of really bad fart jokes and characters who aren't funny at all. And the gameplay is not good. And
Clearly.
And the Metacritic isn't either, as it is 65.
That sounds like a must-have.
You are correct. Next up on our list is, I hope you like balls. What's that?
I'm a big fan of them.
I love balls.
What can be said about balls, Chris?
You can throw them, you can kick them, you can catch them.
You can race balls.
You can race balls. You can fight them. But luckily, we got football, and our football game was Madden NFL 2002. Now, Madden NFL 2002 is a football game based on the American football.
Well, yes. Yes, obviously. We all know this. What? There's no Madden soccer. Fuck.
John Madden presents FIFA 17. Only in Uruguay. It featured fucking.
You know, I will say Madden 02 went over my radar because I was playing 2K by this time.
I don't remember. I wasn't playing football that much. It has fucking Dante Culpepper on the cover, and that's neat. But yeah, it's a football game.
It's a football game,
and it's not even a bad one.
No.
Like the Metacritic is 90.
Oh no, it definitely wasn't bad. I just like
people
2K2.
like this shit, and I'm not gonna say anything bad about Madden. I just don't have a touchstone for Madden 02. My Madden venture, I played on N64 because I was playing Madden on Nintendo 64, and a lot of those characters had the funniest character design for any football player. They were all just big squares, and it was hilarious.
Which was the style at the time.
It was the style at the time to look like a square. It was pretty shitty. I need to have you just look at it real quick because
I'm ready. I want to see some squares.
Because you know what's funny? Actually, I did play Madden 02, but I played Madden NFL 02 on N64.
It came out on Nintendo 64?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So Nintendo 64 got this, and I didn't even think about the Xbox. But every player looked the same. They were all just blocks.
My god, I just imagine the leap from N64 to Xbox to see a Madden game is probably like ridiculous.
Yeah, so look how you can see. Unfortunately, you at home can't see this.
I might toss it up.
Everything is like very jerky on Nintendo 64, and this was my touchstone for football. I'm waiting for them to run a play, and it was weird. You would hike the ball, and then you would have to press another button to bring up the actual passing, and then everything's really bad.
It's like a bunch of boxes with like just
like
colors
a
on
tiny
them.
head on it. And then you look at like the Xbox version, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Even looking how smooth it is. The game is and this is not just saying from 64 to Xbox. This is like 64 to PS2, PS1 to Xbox. That was just how games were.
Yeah,
so,
like when you went from that generation to the next, you're like, this is next generation. Like this looks insane.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, like going from like Xbox, everything gets smaller and smaller as we go. So going from Xbox One X to Series X isn't that huge a leap. But you go from Nintendo 64 to fucking PS2 or Xbox or GameCube.
It was a big difference.
Holy crap!
It's actually a big difference. As much as I'm going to shit on like the sports games because we're hitting the high point of this. We talk about sports.
Yeah, honestly, in terms of tech, like the biggest leap, probably besides going from 2D to 3D, was probably that generation.
For sure.
It's gotten smaller and smaller since then.
Because the fidelity was like 160p at most, to around close to 480i.
Mm-hmm.
So
40p in some cases.
Yeah, so it's a big leap. And I know those numbers mean nothing to you out there who's like, well, you guys went from 1080p to 4K and 4K to 8K.
Bitch, we old. That's why. Okay, that shit looked incredible.
No, this is like different. This is different. This is different graphical power. Imagine having a 3080 in your computer right now, and you're like, my 3080 can run Madden, no problem. Now I want you to take that 3080, and I want you to remove all your fans, and I want you to get rid of like maybe 3/4 of the cell processing that you have, and then take the rest of those and cut those in half, and then kind of like remove as much VRAM as you have, and then maybe you'll get close to the power of what we had back then. And then you would kind of like marginally put like a little bit more RAM in here. Like you go from, this has about 1 gigabyte of RAM. Nah, it wasn't 1 gigabyte at the time. It was like 512 megabytes. And it was like, damn. The numbers are so minuscule, but they mean so much.
You was maybe getting 512 kilobytes back then, maybe of RAM. I don't know if you was even getting megabytes like that of RAM back then. That's damn near 20-something years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys, this is gonna make me like Google like system specs for the N64 and PlayStation out of curiosity. It makes me want to go. Let's original Xbox
RAM
specs. let's
bust it out.
The graphics. Ooh, girl. Where are those specifications at? let me get a look at you. The CPU, 32-bit.
Amazing.
The memory, 64 megabytes.
64 megabytes. Yeah, you wasn't getting 512.
Graphics. An NVIDIA chipset with 20 G-flops. Not gigaflops, G-flops.
Hey, we're doing teraflops now of stuff.
Exactly. Like, oh my God. It's just, ooh.
And this was a beast at the time.
And this is the Xbox. This is the Xbox. It can get better if I go even further back. Nintendo 64.
Oh, God.
I need to woo technical specifications. Oh, you ready to hear some shit? 64 bits of CPU.
Absolutely.
64 bits of GPU.
Damn right.
And the 16-bit audio. And 4 megabytes of RAM.
Incredible.
Rolling at a high resolution of 240p.
Yeah. I was like, 64, man, I gotta have it. It's got more bits.
Do the math. Anywho.
It's got more bits than the PlayStation does. That only has 32. What the fuck am I doing with this? It's just garbage. I need 64 of them.
I need 64 of them. Don't you get it, you whore? You just start shaking. Don't you get it?
I've been murdered.
Yep. Anyway.
Absolutely murdered.
Next game, NASCAR Heat 2002. I told you.
Let's fucking go. Okay, NASCAR Heat. Let me tell you. Okay, as I played 2002 and 2003. Granted, they only played them on PC, but it's the
You
same.
play them?
Yeah. Oh God, the amount of time I put in the NASCAR Heat.
I am very concerned now. Okay.
And mind you, yes, for a long time I was just actually playing the game and I was racing the cars, but then I was like, these crashes are amazing, and so what I started to do is just drive my car backwards on the track to create the biggest crashes possible, because that's why I love Burnout so much, man. The chain reaction you got of these cars hitting each other was just amazing.
Okay.
Shout out NASCAR Heat.
So guess the Metacritic score for NASCAR Heat.
Oh, it's probably not amazing. I would say low 60s.
78.
Hey, that's a lot better.
78 on Xbox.
That's good.
And it's 52 on GBA, which is completely unrelated, but I was just like, that's very funny to me. But yeah, NASCAR Heat 2002 was the game.
I'm telling you, man, I love NASCAR Heat.
Our next amazing title.
Seriously?
Oh,
There
yeah.
was two?
Oh yeah, NASCAR Thunder 2002.
Why would you do two? Oh, because it's a different publisher.
It's by EA. And this one's a simulator too. The Metacritic of 82.
One is slightly better than the other one. They're both, you can put them side by side and probably not see the difference.
I know I can't.
Wow, 2 NASCAR games. So that's an American release for you. You ain't getting not a lot of touchstones for NASCAR in like Europe or Japan, you know.
Then you get NHL Hits 2002.
Ice Blitz.
It is literally just Ice Blitz. If you've never played hockey, then this is the perfect game for you, because it's just hit the puck, get in the goal, hit the man with the stick. That's the game.
Hit the man with the stick. I don't think that is a part of hockey, unless you're pissed. And then it is a part of hockey.
Metacritic average 79.
Yeah, we played.
We've played NHL Hits. We played its predecessor,
Wayne
which
Gretzky.
is Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. All the same company of Midway Games. I think Wayne Gretzky's is a better game. I think it's paced better in terms of speed. NHL Hits has a top-down perspective, and it's very fast. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Not really. I have fond memories of playing NHL Hits 2002 quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But I think Wayne Gretzky just takes the cake. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey is a game that was a launch title. Now, I don't have a lot to say on this game because I didn't care to play it.
Yeah, Oddworld games never I always found them interesting, but every time I tried to play an oddworld game, it always just felt a little too janky for my taste. It sucked because I liked the art style of them and like the tone. Like Stranger's Wrath, I thought was interesting, but of course,
I think Stranger's Wrath is the only one that is like the must-play oddworld game.
Yeah, and that also is still kind of janky. It's like they're all just a little janky, but it's that world and that writing people like the most out of them. I think if they just like if they make it, I think they're working on like another oddworld game. Or it may be already out, I don't remember.
Could not tell you, but I can tell you that I remember this game being a launch title, and this was when the Xbox was kind of first being showed off, so you got to see it in like places like Toys R Us, Sears, Best Buys, Comp USA's.
So this is the place Mom and Daddy's used to shop at, kids.
Your local Pennies, your Rutherfords.
Your Rutherfords. What the fuck? I know that.
That may be a store.
I don't.
I'm not even sure.
That's a city.
No, man. That's Rutherford's store. Rutherford Products. Rutherford Camera Shop. Okay, maybe not Rutherford's. All right. The joke's dead. Anywho, I remember seeing Oddworld.
Rutherford's.
Rugglebles.
I get my grandfather's clock fixed at Rutherford's while I'm also getting a haircut. This is the greatest place.
I go to Rutherford's every day. I have to get my shoes shined and get me a turkey sandwich all at the same time.
I got a divorce and a pap smear at Rutherford's at the same time.
They do everything at Rutherford's. Get
your coochie cleaned at Rutherford's.
God damn it. Anywho.
So wait, you also get your driver's license renewed.
Oh, man.
Okay.
So Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. I remember seeing it on an Xbox demo unit. I remember playing it, and I was wowed at it. To be completely honest with you, I was very wowed because I was like, "This is incredible looking." Now, gameplay-wise, it was me just running around collecting green spheres, so I was captivated because I was like, "I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm getting these green orbs."
You know, I think that's why I always put Oddworld to Xbox because it's green, and the next brand is green, so.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, cool. And it was pretty, and I was like, this is a stellar game, and I never got a chance to play it. I only played the demo. Metacritic score is 80, so not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. For all I know, and for all I care, it is a good game, right? But I'm never going to go out my way to try and play it. Now, Project Gotham Racing is a game that was released for the original Xbox at launch.
Yeah.
I did not play this game.
Oh, you didn't play the first one?
I never played the first one.
Oh, wow.
You want to know what's even funnier? I've never played this game, but I've played Metropolis Street Racer, which is the predecessor to the Project Gotham Racing series on the Dreamcast.
Did Bizarre do that one too?
Yes, they did.
Oh.
And when you play them, you're like, oh my God, it's the same damn game.
Holy shit, I did not know that.
Did
it have kudos there too?
I can't believe you don't know this game.
No. Yeah, I didn't know about like Bizarre making racing games until Project Gotham, and then I got like 3 or 4 of the Project Gotham games, and then Forza came out and just kind of Forza and Burnout took my attention on Xbox for racing.
So I don't think it had the kudos system, but just from like the look of it to the entire way it feels is like, oh, this is 100% Project Gotham. Like, and it's not even a bad game either. It's actually the best racing game on Dreamcast.
Interesting. What's funny about Project Gotham is I didn't get it at launch, obviously, but by the time I got Project Gotham and got into the series, that was when I was working at Sears and I was getting them games dirt cheap. So I was able to get into the series. I got Project Gotham like brand new for like $1.97. So I said, hey, why not? It was already like a Platinum Hits game by the time I got it. And then after that, it was just off to the races. I didn't even mean to do it like that, but I'm just that damn good. But yeah, like Project Gotham is a really solid racing game. It's a shame that I think Bizarre closed their doors.
So my touchstone was PGR2. That was the first one I got, surprisingly enough, for also around like $5. I never wanted to go out of my way to get them for anything like launch price worthy. I was like, they're just racing games. And I was like, oh, $5, I heard it's a good game. So I'm like, cool, I get it. And I did the same thing with PGR 3 and 4.
Which were on 360.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And the reason Bizarre does not make games anymore is because they made the club.
Oh.
And they had an interesting idea and a really shitty execution because all they did was racing games. So, I'm sorry, and Geometry Wars.
See, that is just unfortunate. And I don't believe they ever pulled in extra people to do that kind of stuff. They did Geometry Wars?
Geometry Wars is surprisingly a game that is hidden away. The first one's hidden away on PGR2.
Huh?
Yeah, when you I'd have to boot up my PGR2 to show you exactly where it is. But on Project Gotham Racing 2, you get your own little garage, and you can have an arcade, and it has Geometry Wars in it.
I'm blown away right now. You're blowing my fucking mind. I know with Geometry Wars, I played the shit out of that game on DS. And you would mess up your touchpad playing that game so much.
Oh no, they did Blur. That's why they went out of business.
Oh.
The club was much earlier than that. Okay. This sidetrack. Bizarre Creations did Metropolis Street Racer.
Mm-hmm.
They did the follow-up Project Gotham Racing series.
Yep.
Zune. Apparently it was on Zune in some way, shape, or form. Geometry Wars. They did Fur Fighters, which I did not know. So that's news to me. They did the club, which I did know, and I do like the club. And they did Blur.
And that was their last game.
Blur was their last game.
That's a shame. They went out on a fart. And because Blur, we're going from a tangent, but Blur could have been.
Oh. It wasn't the last
shit.
game they did.
I just saw it. They did 007 Bloodstone, people. 2 farts in a row.
No, Blur is not a fart. Blur is actually, there was Blur.
You know, it's not as
and
bad
what was
as
the
that.
other one? Fuck.
Oh, the other racing game?
There was something that came out literally
Blur
the
and
same
Split
time.
Second, I think, came around the same time, right?
Ooh.
No, wasn't Split Second 2012?
They came out the same time. Oh, yeah. Blur came out at the same time as Mod Nation Racers and Split Second.
Okay, yeah.
So literally the racing space was divvied up between 3 games.
It was real crowded. And
Blur was good, and it wasn't bad at all. Split Second was more interesting to look at, and Mod Nation Racers was a big PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, each of those games had a more unique premise and style of their own than Blur did. Blur did not really differentiate itself enough. It just was it almost played like just a kart racer, but with real cars.
That's what it was.
And that's all it was. And on its own, that's fine, but then you put it up against Split Second or Mod Nation Racers, which, I mean, honestly, Mod Nation lasted a bit.
I just looked at the Metacritic between Blur, Split Second, and Mod Nation Racers. Mm-hmm. All of them are 82.
Holy shit. It was just really bad timing.
It was horrible timing. You can't release a racing game the day as 2 other...
Because we played Blur when it came out.
Yeah, I thought Blur was fun.
And we were we played it. We're it's okay. It was fun. But then we had this other stuff, like Mod Nation, which I didn't really care for Mod Nation because I felt the loading times were way too long. And I didn't like the frame rate it ran at.
And then...
007
Bloodstone is really bad.
And the Bloodstone is not. That's unfortunate.
It's fucking bad.
That is unfortunate.
But yeah.
Anyway.
So
Bizarre.
Bizarre, hey, I wish you guys the best for all you.
I mean, obviously it's a studio full of talented people, right? So I like to think a lot of them got work elsewhere.
Yeah.
I would like to think they got work elsewhere. What is next on our incredible...
So, next launch game is Shrek.
Wow.
Fucking the best game with a Metacritic average of 98.
Huh?
The best game on...
You're shitting me.
It is... How could you go wrong with Shrek on a green system?
You can't be serious.
Fine, Shrek... His Metacritic is 49.
Okay.
But...
That sounds a bit more like it, donkey.
That was a horrible Shrek.
I'm not very good at accents.
But it was...
I would just almost stick to Eddie Murphy. I got my teeth. See my teeth? They big.
Apparently, the game was reworked for the GameCube, and it was called Shrek Extra Large.
Oh, fun.
Woo woo woo.
We don't need to do anything else with Shrek. We can move right on with our
This
lives.
game is fun.
He's just dying. This man is dying because of Shrek.
It's such a good. I'm laughing because they were like, we need launch games for our new system that's gonna tell people buy this motherfucker, and they were like, what can we get? They were like, sir, we got Halo, but we need something for the younger demographic.
That's
like,
also green.
What do you have that's also green? Oh fuck! They was like, well, we got to throw Mario out the window.
No, can't use Mario.
It was like, we got it, bitch. It's Shrek, and they were like, you mean like off the movie, the hit movie starring Michael Myers and Eddie Murphy and Drew Barrymore? That one? Accidentally in Love, which is Shrek 2, but don't know how I know that because I'm from the fucking future. Hey Now, You're an All-Star? I think that's the movie.
I think that's a Get off this tangent. Get off of it. You're in trouble.
Fuck yeah.
You're
Put Shrek. Oh,
he just didn't let it go.
Give me that fucking Shrek. That green menace. Oh, this good big green dick in my butt. Just...
Guys, we need to talk to you about it.
They're still in the office listening to him, and they're just like, sir, will you have a 2:30 meeting? And you're talking about Shrek's dick. Can you please sober the fuck up? Bill Gates will be here in 45 minutes.
Bill Gates himself will be here to clear this Shrek game launching on the Xbox.
And you're talking about an older dick.
And you're doing coke and talking about sucking dicks.
I'm crying. Oh, sweet God. It's so horribly horrible.
How did this even I'm sorry, everybody. If I could give you money.
If I could give you money, I wouldn't. Matter of fact, I would give you just enough to buy Shrek on original Xbox.
So you can experience this 49 Metacritic ass game.
I've never even seen. Matter of fact, I'm so fucking curious now.
Oh no!
How bad is Shrek on
it's
Xbox?
It's gonna be about as bad as you would expect it to be.
Oh my God! Someone has a full gameplay of it, and it's like 3 hours long.
I'm at a point now. I feel like there's gonna be a long play of any shitty game.
Oh my God! Why is he just put? Oh my God! Why is he moving so fast? Oh no!
This looks insane. Oh my God! It looks like all the memes you see of Shrek, and they're like terrifying, right? This is where they come from.
Holy shit! Maybe he really did. That dude was on to something. He was like, man, I know how to make Shrek more palatable. I'm gonna fucking make him run like a fucking sprinter. Usain Bolt, who? This man, look at that quick ass kick. Oh, I can't look at any more of this.
The way his arms move when he punches things.
Oh, fucking Christ. It was so beautiful. Oh, Shrek. Were you blinded by its majesty when you first saw it?
Yes.
Yes, I was, sir. Oh, fucking Christ. Next launch game.
Hey.
Test Drive Off-Road Wide Open.
Now that's a fun series. I didn't know Test Drive was on the Xbox, but I remember playing Test Drive on PS2. I'm sorry, PS1. I played Test Drive it was like San Francisco or some shit like that. It was fun. Test Drive was a pretty fun series, and then it just kind of vanished.
I can't even tell you the last Test Drive game I know I played one of the Test Drive games that came out really recently, where it's like Unlimited.
That was the last Test Drive game because it came out on 360 and PS3.
Yeah, I hated that shit.
No, they didn't. Unlimited were they trying to support that with like DLC? They were trying to make like an ongoing racing thing with Unlimited. It didn't go well. That's all I know. A lot of the Test Drive games.
Well, I can tell you from looking at this.
Christ.
Yeah.
This does not look good.
This game looks like shit.
Oh man.
This game is moving at a rock solid 30-ish maybe frames. And it has the blandest environments. I can't believe I'm saying this, but 4x4 Evo looks more entertaining than this. And that game was a big pile of doo-doo.
Yeah, Test Drive never was a main racing game series. I don't think it ever came out. It was like a budget racing series.
Motherfucking Metacritic on Xbox of 64.
Yeah.
That game sucked dick. So, We're almost done with the North American release. We got my game that I did want to play on test. I mean, whoa, man, I was about to talk more about test drive. All that goddamn Shrek juice just got me flowing. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 X. What does the X stand for? Xbox Extreme. I don't fucking know. It had more content, I know that. But it was just Tony Hawk 2. It was up-res, it had prettier visuals, it like loaded quicker. It had, I think, one extra stage, some new music, motion blur out the ass, if I remember correctly. It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. You can't really go wrong with it.
I should, because I never connected with those games growing up. I feel like I should, I guess, go and play Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I think they did the HD 1 and 2 have been remade on the new systems, right? So
yeah. Metacritic of 78.
Because I'm like, man, like growing up, I thought they were just a skateboard game, and then as time goes on, they've hit this like legendary status of these greatest games of all time, and I'm like, I don't remember them being that. They never blew my socks off like that. So I'm like, maybe I should go back and.
All right, here's the landscape of Tony Hawk in terms of like video game execution. This was peak extreme sports. Extreme sports were just starting to like grow and like foster a small community of like people outside of just the people who like it. So it was starting to get on like TV through, I think, ESPN, ESPN2, Disney got Brink. I think Nickelodeon had something. They started doing like Rocket Power.
Yeah.
You know, so extreme sports was starting to pick up. And there wasn't any video game that was really like representative of the sport. There was like 720, and there was like some arcade games where you'd stand on like a plastic board and wiggle, and it didn't kind of work right because it was just kind of bleh. It was like a downhill racing experience. But Tony Hawk was the first, quote unquote, simulation of the sport. It was so close to being real that it was incredible. Now, I can't say it's actually like that because you were in hangars flying 30 feet in the air. And it's a little preposterous, but the concept of how much airtime you had to the way moves work, back then, like on the first one, maybe even the second one, there weren't like, it was very simple. You would do like a trick or two and then you land and then you go on to the next thing. And it was like, oh man, that's crazy. They only evolved more over time to give you more things to do. And they started feeling a little more arcadey and give you more options. But man, those first two felt so close and it was so unique because there was nothing like that was that polished that you could do that was a sports game. It's bar none one of those first time experiences. It was like, wow, this is really fun. And then you could break it down to being more than what it was. You could chain so many flip tricks in the grinds, specials, grabs. It was fun. It was very fun and very special. Very, very special.
By God, you've sold me.
Cool.
Ship it tonight. I'm getting Tony Hawk.
Ship it tonight.
HD 1 and 2.
Ship it tonight. Right out of his ass. Ship it tonight.
Ship it tonight. Get it on the next boat over to my house.
Put it on the next boat. And then the winner of Best Water for the month, Trans World Surf.
Best water.
So, okay, me and you have spoken extensively about this game and how we're like, Trans World Surf fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trans World Surf fucking sucks.
I can't tell you that I've played a good surfing game. I've played a couple of them.
I've played one good surfing game, and it was fine. I thought it was good, but I won't go out of my way to play them. I think...
Look at that water, though.
I think the thing is, when it comes to surfing games, it's not going to beat the act of surfing. Like, there isn't any big enjoyment in just carving a wave.
In a video game.
In a video game. Yes, they have like tricks. Like this dude just did a kickflip with his surfboard. And that's neat. But like, the thrill of surfing is the speed you get and the ability to ride on something that you normally can't stand on. Right?
Yeah.
Trans World Surf is not even a bad game. It actually has a Metacritic score of 76.
That's solid.
So I think people are like, oh, it's not bad. They're like, the water's really good. But I remember playing it and I remember going, this game controls like hot butt. And I was like 10 or 12 or whatever the fucking age was around that time. And I was just like, when I first played it, and I was just like, this game is just, it's not fun. It looks cool. I wanted to like it, but it was not good.
Not the business.
Meanwhile, there was another game called Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer.
Yeah, that's what I attempted to
And Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer
get into.
Was the better one. Why? Because it was a surfing game that played like Tony Hawk. As soon as I can actually see what the game looks like.
Oh wow! See, we've got the same like font style at the bottom. You can tell from the same core group.
Now, granted, I think if you're gonna do an aquatic sports game, the wakeboarding game is.
Oh Jesus! That dude got smacked in the face by the other dude's fucking surfboard. He did a flip, right in his fucking eye.
I had to rewind to see it.
Oh my god!
So yeah, Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer is probably the way to go.
Oh, sorry, dude. Dude's fucking head is cut off on a goddamn surf.
Oops. Sorry, dude. Sorry, brah. Didn't mean it, brah.
Oh my god.
But that was the launch lineup for North America. I'm not going to look up every other game, but I can tell you that in Japan, they got Amped. Amped was a solid snowboarding attempt at the first time. It became a pivotal point for Xbox. The second one was like the best snowboarding game you can get on original Xbox. That was simulation style because SSX 360. And Amped 3 was the close to launch game for 360.
Yeah, that was on 360, yeah.
So that was pretty good. And then there's like ESPN International Winter Sports and Winter X Games Snowboarding, both 2002 in Japan. They had Genma Onimusha, which I have played, which is just Onimusha 1.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's harder for Xbox. They had something called Nobunaga no Yaibu Rensek.
That's probably Nobunaga's Ambition or something.
Bitch. Nobunaga no Yaibu Renseki. It's Nobunaga's Ambition.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Listen, alright. I don't need your shit, alright? I don't need your shit. I don't need your fucking shit. I don't even know. I can't even find the game. There it is. Nobunaga's Ambition, Chronicles of Turbulent Times. 9th title in the series.
Yeah, it's a long-running series.
Good lord.
Long-running series of games that I'm never going to play, but there's a long...
Yeah, Japan's list is like crazy different. Because not only that, they got Silent Hill 2, Sneakers.
Well, you know what it is, too? That it's because Japan's launch was later, so they have more time to get better games.
And they got Reckless the Yakuza mission.
Well.
Europe got Amped, Batman Vengeance, Bloodwake, Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2, Jet Set Radio Future, Max Payne, NBA Live 02, NHL 2002, Rally Sport Challenge, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, and Reckless the Yakuza missions.
Max Payne is... I didn't get into Max Payne until so much later. Like, I didn't play Max Payne until I was already an adult. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Had no idea about Max Payne until way later in time. But I think we played it on... Yeah, I would have played it on Xbox. Game is dope. Reckless sucks. It just sucked. Reckless is the first Xbox game I ever played. When the Xbox was just brought to the house one day, and it was with the Duke controller. I'm like, this is not good. I can barely even tell what's happening.
I'm trying to think of what the first Xbox game is that I've played that wasn't in like a demo unit. It might have been NBA 2K3.
See, that's a good experience.
Maybe. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I actually really don't remember because I remember my touchstone for this was that my buddy Wayne, his family randomly got like all these. His family had a buddy or something like that. They would just get like game systems. And I was like, oh, cool. So they got like a PS2, and I was like, oh my god, you guys got a PS2? He was like, yeah, and they got Grand Theft Auto 3. Never seen this game, never heard of this game. I'm like, oh, what? Huh? Whoa! I was speechless. My young, fragile mind was exploding with so much content delirium because nothing like that had ever been seen in front of me.
Oh man, okay, wow.
So I was just like, wowzers! And I was like, I gotta play this. And the only thing I could substitute it with was GTA 2.
That's unfortunate.
And it was not the same. I tried to make it the same, and I was like, it's fun.
It's not the same.
But it's not the same.
See, I played them in sequential order. I knew about Grand Theft Auto back in the first game in London 1969 and GTA 2. So when they did GTA 3, I had a holy shit moment, but from that perspective of knowing what the other games were, and like this was like not those, And I saw it for the first time in just Game Informer or PlayStation Magazine or something, and I'm like, holy, this is a video game?
Yeah. And I remember that, and I remember going over their house. Their PS2 had broken. I don't remember how. They kept breaking systems. It was crazy. They went through like 3 or 4 PS1s.
Bad kids. Clearly, they were bad kids.
PS2 stopped working right. I think they just said the disc tray wouldn't close or something like that. And I don't think they had a warranty, and they didn't think about shipping it off or whatever it was. So it's fine. Old days, you don't think about that stuff. Then they got an original Xbox, and I remember being very flabbergasted by how big the controller was. I remember that. I'll never forget the Duke, because I was just like, why is controller so big? and they had a third-party controller, which was the mini controller. I don't remember if you remember those mini controllers at the time.
No, because by the time I got an Xbox, the S controller was out.
So they used to come out with these Mad Catz controllers, and they call them the mini line. And they were just smaller versions of the controllers. So they had one for the S version as well, but they had a smaller version of the Duke. So it was a normal size controller.
I'm going to say, if it's a smaller Duke controller, then it's just a regular controller.
Exactly. And of course, that's the one we all wanted to use. Not because it was like the definitive controller, because normally you want the first party controller.
Yeah, but in this case.
But in this case, yeah, it's like my hands don't like fitting around where the buttons were. I couldn't comprehend it. Now, my hands are big enough for the Duke, and I can comprehend the placement of the black and white button. Because what some people may not understand, the black and white buttons are vindictive of like the Sega Saturn or like an arcade stick. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think about that. Hell, it baffles my mind now when I look at the N64 controller. I'm like, that's what they were thinking of.
Yeah,
it's just that they designed it in such a weird, fucking fashion.
Yeah, it's a weird fashion. I will never forget first seeing. Of course, I was aware of the controller and stuff from the internet and stuff like that. But my brother bought his Xbox over. He had got one at some point. I think he got rented it or something. Brought that thing to the house, and I'm like, this is nuts. Like, this system looks insane. This controller is nuts. What games are even there for it? I don't care. All he had was like Reckless, and I'm like, this game isn't great. I remember specifically my niece, who had to have been, she was 2, I think, at the time, and she could differentiate the size of the Xbox versus the PS2. I was like, you want to try to pick that up? She's like, no, that thing is huge. This thing is massive. I'm like, no, absolutely not. But then more games came out for it, and wrestling came out for it, and I'm like, we can have custom soundtracks, and I'm like, okay, I need to get an Xbox. That's my second. It was my second system.
Winningham sold me on the Xbox. Funny enough, Winningham sold me on the Xbox, and then when I started doing research, that's when I saw Halo, and that's when I was blinded by its majesty.
I think my teacher was an Xbox guy in high school, and I just could not understand why he was such an Xbox guy. I'm like, no, PS2 is clearly the better system. And then I'm like, he was a specs guy, and I'm like, oh, this is a more powerful system. I'm like, well, I don't see nothing over here. This thing sucks. But I'm a kid, so I'm like, my system's better because I'm the one, because I have this one. But no, the Xbox was dope. It's dope. The lineup was... The American lineup was rough.
Launch lineup, man. It's very funny looking at launch lineups for that, because like the launch lineup of like the 360 and even the Xbox One is so much better. but you have to crawl before you can walk.
You do.
And they were like testing the waters. They knew. I'm pretty sure they got some like advice from people because sports games are usually your go-to. You need to have your sports titles. And what's weird is I don't know why they didn't have basketball on there. It may have not been released yet. But yeah, this was before the whole like what was it called? Xbox Sports something.
Oh, the XSN. I think the Xbox Sports Network.
Yeah.
They had their own NFL Fever.
Where you had Fever and Inside Drive.
Yeah.
And I don't know the name of the hockey one.
A lot of those games.
And Top Spin.
A lot of them games was not as good as the other contemporaries.
What's funny is I do like them.
They're not bad.
They had my mind when I look at those games is that, man, they're different, and I like them. But
yeah, they weren't bad. It's just when you go up against juggernauts like Madden and 2K, it's just not gonna hit. And then eventually, they dropped that to then just have Xbox exclusivity, I believe, for like certain one. It was either that or they got them like first or cheaper or something like that. Not the AAA ones, but the 2K ones. I believe the Xbox at a cheaper price or something like that.
Nope.
They didn't know. No. They were just making their games cheaper versus EA.
There was no
console exclusive thing, no.
Nope. So, but yeah, that about racks up the launch lineup. So we're getting close to the end of the show. So let's tidy up the show with our Game Pass pick of the week.
Pick of the week. Pick of the week.
So Foxxy Steve, what is your Game Pass pick of the week? Pick of the week.
My Game Pass pick of the week. There's a bunch of peppers in it.
What's your
Peter Piper.
Peter Piper's packing big peppers. Peter's packing fucking penis. Shrek's dick. Peter's sucking Shrek's cock.
My pick of the week is going to be a game that just came back to Game Pass, is Yakuza 0. That's what it's going to go ahead and be this week. It's a game that I played and beat a while ago. I played it on PS4 back in the day, but it's the same game. It's an excellent game. It's chronologically, it's not the oldest game in the series, but it is chronologically the game you'd want to start with because it takes place before all the other Yakuza games. You play as Kiryu. And this is basically his origin story as well as the other character, Majima's origin story. And it's just jam-packed with content. Like, it is... The Yakuza series has some... It's kind of what Shenmue, I wish, was. Shenmue crawled...
Oh, good.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, Shenmue basically crawled so Yakuza could run. You know what I mean? It's got, the fighting system in it is really fun to play. There's a lot of different combos, different fighting styles, doing crazy shit like beating people up with bikes and random ass things in the environment, alongside a really compelling story, and really great side quests and side missions. Some are heartwarming, some are silly. All the other side stuff you can do, like running your own real estate business and cabaret clubs and all that kind of stuff. So that is my recommendation. If you have not tried it, you should go and do that. Yakuza 0.
My pick of the week is Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
Yeah.
I really like tabs. I find it hilarious, and it gives you easy content. And if you're like me, you're a lovely person of content, and guess what? I am an affiliate for a company called Atreo. Atreeyo. Atreo is a lovely place for content creators to get the chance to be sponsored by other games to then promote their product on stream, and it gives you lots of opportunities as a result. And if you'd like to sign up for Atreo and you're a content creator, why not do so? Use my code ICHRI and the number 8. That's iChrisPanda.
Not Creed.
Sacrifice. But Tabs is hilarious. I find it very funny. I find the game very interesting to just kind of look at. It's a very comical style. It's very violent. But it's literally taking battles between things like farmers versus pirates versus mammoths from the Ice Age versus gods versus paladins, dragons, and then there's like original content because you can create things. I think I made Steve and it was just a dude with a cane and an apple.
That's what I usually fight with.
He's like, I got this apple because I'm hungry, and I got a cane because, you know, some days my leg just give out. And then he saw that dude, and he was like, hey, fuck you. And he threw that apple at him and beamed him. And then he just crip walked on his grave. He was like, I'm going to do a jig. And it was like, that was the battle. This man had a shield, and Steve somehow found a way. He was like, because I'm
That's
taller.
right. You better watch out.
So
Get on my bad side if you see me with an apple coming your way.
bow. I don't want to get beamed. I don't want to get beamed with an apple. I'm sure it's gonna hurt like hell. But yeah, that's my pick of the week. And of course, after the Game Pass pick of the week.
That's when we close the show. You know what I'm saying? And
That's when we get you guys going with Name That Game character. But for Steve's sake, I said last week, I'll have him do a game. Because he said it'd probably be easier for me.
probably.
So,
Now that I put my foot in my mouth.
now that Steve's put his foot in his mouth, I am going to make it easy for you by making it a game. And no, it won't be some bullshit like, oh, it's fucking Shenmue 3, the deluxe edition.
Ugh.
No, it's going to be a title that you should be able to get. And I say that expecting you to know it, and you probably do know it. And you're probably going to forget it if you get it wrong, because you probably will be like, I can't fucking believe you. But let me grab my phone. Do you think you're ready for this?
I'm never ready for it, but we're going to do it anyway.
Well, that's great. We got 1 minute on the clock. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
And go.
Is this a first-person shooter?
No.
Is this a racing game?
No.
Okay. Is it a platformer?
No.
RPG?
No.
Oh my god. Is this on the Xbox?
Yes.
Is it a console exclusive?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a fighting game?
No.
Franchise? No. It is. Is the main character human?
One of them.
There's multiple main characters.
Yep.
Is the oh boy, are they human?
All of them? No.
Okay. Is this on the original Xbox?
Yes.
Is this a role-playing game?
No.
Does it still come out? Is it a current franchise?
No.
Was it only on original Xbox?
Yes. 10 seconds.
Is it a strategy game?
No.
Oh dear. Oh no. Just trying to get a goddamn genre. That's all I was trying to do is get a genre.
This man was
Give me a genre.
This man said RPG twice.
Did I?
You did.
Fuck.
That's why I'm like, and when you said it again, I'm like, no, what? What is your guess? Man, go back to the camera.
My guess. Multiple characters. What the fuck? And it's not a fighting game, not a platformer, not a first-person shooter, not an RPG, not a strategy game. What the fuck? Huh? I'm having a meltdown.
We can see.
Oh no, I'm having a meltdown. God damn it.
So is this easier or harder?
Oh, I hate you.
I'm giving you choices.
Oh god. Like Castlevania? Just toss that out there.
Hell no.
Because
I don't even
there's
know if
multiple-
Castlevania is on Xbox.
I don't think it is. God damn it. What is it?
Brute force.
I've never in a million years would have gotten brute fucking fuck you, buddy.
You were literally in like the right path. You named every genre except third-person shooter. I said multiple characters.
I know what you said, and I don't know nearly enough about brute force to have gotten that. So
what you do know is that it's not amazing.
no, that's why I don't know much about it. Because you know what happened to brute force? I would have played it and would have been this shit. Let's put it over here in the shit bin and forget about it.
truth be told, Brute Force, it just came out too soon. It did. It came out before Xbox Live. If Xbox Live was around when that game came out, it would have worked because then you would have 4-player co-op. But instead, you got to get 4-player co-op locally.
Take us home, Chris. Take us home.
Well, if you enjoyed this podcast as much as I just did, and Shrek's huge dick.
This is brought to you by Shrek. This is brought to you by cocaine and Shrek's huge dick.
Thank you, Mike Myers. If you're a fan of this show, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date when we go live on anything on YouTube, whether it be this, GM Warfare, or any of our future content. Now, Steve, what about the audio listeners, though?
The other listeners, first of all, I'm sorry. And second of all, you can get us on all the podcast services around the globe, including Spotify, where you can indeed rate us. So please, if you made it all the way to the end of this fuckery, give us 5 stars so I can feed my starving marmoset.
The fuck is a marmoset?
It's some kind of marsupial, I think, or mammal of some kind.
Okay. I want to feed my marmalade.
And not a latest Morissette. People get those two confused a lot. Anyway. Yeah.
That's our show. Jump in, play more. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And keep it funky, but not like an onion. Because Shrek's dick. Were you blinded by its match?
I was blinded by the match to Shrek's dick. Have a great evening, everybody.
Good night. Or good morning. Just get the fuck out. Just goodbye.
Goodbye.